We're all good if I record you?
Absolutely.
All right.
The only thing I would ask, and
Yes.
I say this to everybody,
Uh-huh.
if I'm ever going to be like published, like in a paper or anything with the interview,
Mhm.
I just ask that I get to edit my quotes.
Oh,
Like that I would
okay.
get to type it out, make sure it sounds exactly the way I would want it to appear
Okay.
publicly.
Yeah, sweet.
But I don't think you're going to publish this in a newspaper, right?
No.
So yeah, we should be good.
I don't think so. Okay, so my informational interview is just all about the communications, like the degree itself and the major and what it's about and the opportunities that come with it. So
Great.
the first question I have is, going into college for you, was
Mhm.
communications always the degree that you anticipated or wanted? And if not, what made you choose communications?
Oh, wow, that's a great question. No, when I started in college, I wanted to be a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to be a coach. So I was, big like most high school students, right? I appreciated sports. I played, football in the fall, basketball in the winter, and baseball in the spring. And then I played on a summer travel team in the summer. And then I do football, basketball, baseball, and that was just my life for 7-8 years,
It's
right?
a circle.
So I had some really good coaches,
Mhm.
and I had some maybe not as good coaches. And I always knew that I wanted to build on the good coaching that I had and be a coach someday. So I knew I needed to be a teacher to have that opportunity.
Yeah.
Wasn't really sure what topical area I wanted to teach, but I gravitated to history, funny enough. My first semester in college, my history teacher, David Dalton, was electric, just like hair on fire for the history of our country. We talked about Vietnam, we talked about the French Revolution, we talked about World War II, World War I, and in high school, the history classes I had, the instruction was terrible. I mean, no disrespect to my high school teachers, but it was like, well, let's watch this video that wasn't well done. Let's read the book and take a quiz. I mean, you didn't have something that like really made it come to life.
Yeah.
So I immediately was like, this is what I want to do. I want to be a history teacher. And so I tried that for a while, and then I was like, this isn't, maybe not. Jobs are better in science and math. So I was like, well, I love science. So then I became a teacher / like biology major. So it was like education, biology. Didn't do great in my botany class. Like the teacher was kind of, I don't know. I just remember, there was some weird things that happened, but within like a week or two, I was like, I don't like this at all. This is an awful class. So that's when I switched over to public relations. So it was like my third major. I was a sophomore in college at the time. I was like, I kind of like this. It was right around the same time of a movie called Jerry Maguire. I don't know if you've ever seen Jerry Maguire.
Yeah,
It's the story of a sports agent.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? I could do this. Like, I love people. I appreciate sports. This would be a great job for me. So I went into public relations thinking that was the path, and I thought I'd probably go to law school afterwards because you need to be a lawyer to be an agent. So I did public relations, and that was in mass comm. So that's where I got introduced to communication. So I was public relations. My parents always said get at least a business minor, have something business related. So I'm enjoying my advertising, my marketing classes were awesome, management was okay, accounting was bleh. But I did all that, so I got a business minor, I had a public relations major, and then I got what was called a speech comm minor. So like public speaking, advanced public speaking, interpersonal communication, small group communication. There was like an argumentation debate class. So I took all of those classes, and I really enjoyed them. I was always nervous, had tremendous anxiety giving a public speech, especially in front of like students.
Oh yeah.
Like it was rough. But I always loved like writing the speeches because I loved to make people feel like things mattered. Like I loved bringing issues to light.
Yeah.
So I remember my first public speaking assignment. I was, I want to say I was talking about the benefits of exercise. And then another one, I was advocating for HIV testing. And again, this is like before there was a cure for HIV, right? So like HIV was kind of like, in some ways people see cancer today, like there's treatments, but until, the medicine wasn't there yet, right? So I was really seeing like, okay, people who are, exchanging needles or having unprotected sex, they're basically killing people if they have HIV and if they don't know it. It's a really irresponsible thing. So I really wanted to mandate testing. And then later I gave a speech on college athletes being paid, funny enough. So,
yeah.
And the pros and cons, like it was a switch side debate activity where on one hand I had to advocate for athletes being paid, and then the next speech I had to advocate why they shouldn't be paid, which was really a cool assignment. So I really appreciated my public relations and the public speaking courses and interpersonal I love, just because I was like, wow, I'm like becoming a better person in this class. Like I'm learning how to like treat people in a way that is appropriate, not that I was a bad human being, but I felt like I was really growing personally from that class.
So within like all of that, you got introduced to communications, and then like how did that, like all of that you just talked about, lead into you now?
Yeah, grad school. Yeah. So again, I wanted to be a teacher. When I started college, I realized there weren't classes in communication really in high school. So I was like, this doesn't really seem like a great fit. Like there's not a lot of job opportunities. Yeah. And I didn't really want to teach public speaking necessarily. I mean, I enjoyed the promotional side of the house. So at the time, I was graduating from college. I had a business degree. I was getting job offers to be like assistant store managers at all these retail establishments. I was offered like insurance jobs to sell. I mean, kind of your standard entry-level jobs. I didn't, my family wasn't connected, so I didn't have like really good opportunities outside of the career fair. And my brother, who at the time was working on his master's in psychology, he's like, you ought to go to grad school, like get your master's for free, be an RA, TA, teach, and get your advanced degree. You don't have kids, you're not married, why not? So I then got married, like literally 2 weeks after I graduated from college. Yeah. Like right away, because we were from the Midwest. And Westerners do.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
We talked about it in class. Yeah. It's a true story. We got married June 5th. I still remember the day, 1999. And I started my master's in August. And I taught public speaking. The first year did horrible. Literally did horrible. The students hated me. I was a little too gruff. I was a little too intense. I mean, I can be a perfectionist. I'm very take things seriously or don't waste time. Oh yeah. And teaching public speaking at Missouri State University, which is, it's a great school, but the students aren't the most academically inclined. I'm 22 years old, keep in mind, and I'm teaching 18, 19-year-olds about public speaking. I showed up with like a briefcase the first day of class. Like I was way over the top. And my course evaluations were horrible. Like I got literally crucified. I know that's probably not an appropriate word to use, but I mean, they were telling me how terrible I was. Like I remember picking up my course evaluations in a manila envelope, reading through them one by one. And my wife was with me at the time. We were about to do some holiday shopping, and I literally almost could have cried because it was so bad. I was like, wow, I suck. I suck. I was terrible. And I had like 13 evaluations, like 7 of them were horrible. Like, I mean, bad, like 2 out of 5 type bad, awful comments. Like, this guy should not be teaching public speaking. He's not appropriate. He yells at the class. I mean, and there was an incident that happened where a student, who was one of our baseball players. Oh boy. We just talked about visual aids, and he literally used the chalkboard as a visual aid. Oh. And I, again, 22, I took that as like, he's disrespecting the class. He's disrespecting me. And so I like as soon as class was over that day, I said, I want everybody to sit down. I just want to go over a couple of things. And I literally addressed the visual aid. Yeah. So inappropriate. And this guy had a group of like a handful of students that were sympathizers. They really liked him. He's probably a really great guy. Oh yeah. But they were just so offended that I would have corrected him publicly like that. Yeah. And they just ripped me. I guarantee those were the ones out of 1 to 5, like horrible teacher, inappropriate, shouldn't be. And so, I built up some courage this spring. I'm like, I'm going to be me. I'm going to be casual. I'm going to wear some jeans. I'm going to wear a collared shirt. I'm not tucking in my shirt. Kind of like how I dress now. Yeah. And things got a lot better. Yeah. And then the next year I had a new assignment. I was teaching a theory class as a TA. And then it became clear, my advisors at the grad program said, you got to get a PhD. Like if you want to teach, you really need a PhD, or you're always going to have somebody telling you what to teach. And I didn't really want that. I wanted more security, stability. So I went to Mizzou, got my PhD. I was there for a year. My research mentor left to go to Texas A&M. I went with him. Cindy and I made the move every step of the way. Best friend, best partner ever. My wife's amazing. We got the PhD there, and then the rest is history. I got a teaching job in Ohio, and I was there for 2 years before coming here.
Oh, wow.
And I've been here for almost 20 years now.
Wow. So, there's so many, but